Okay, cool. Let's get started. So if everyone's day is going well. If you've been with us on a lot of these recaps, usually we just go over all of the runners that happened during the day. So this time we're talking about yesterday, which is Friday. And yeah, and then I'll take any questions you have at the end. So yeah, okay. Let's start with IPHA. This was definitely play of the day for me and many. We first started off with this resistance area right here. This was our first initial entry. Actually, right here was our initial entry, but this was definitely the first way you could have played this when not a lot of volume was there. We kept getting rejected by this resistance area. And eventually when we got a full candle close right above the resistance, we made that was a quick spike. So I definitely would have added this this first candle close over the resistance, because as you can see, every time we tried to get above it, we could not close above this line, this blue line, anywhere except for this candle right here. So, after this initial entry, we were just sold the pop, and then we started downtrending, and we just could not break this trend line. Obviously, no one draws this trend line for us, but we learned to do it ourselves. It's like this. And there you go. That's our downtrend right there. We could not get over this line. And by the third time, you should already have this trend line drawn out. Why? Because you can see it keeps getting rejected by this area. So, on the fifth time, or no, whenever it breaks, whenever it gets a full candle close above it, that you want that to be your entry. So this candle right here, that would have been my entry. There was good volume, as you can see, and that would have been my first starter. What I would have done is taken a starter, then waited for it to come back, retest this line. And that's when I would have added most of my position. And that's exactly what happened. We broke it. We came back, retested the support. This used to be old resistance. And now that we finally broke above it, it's now new support. So we came down, we retested this new support, and we bounced up. So we uptrended for a while. And then we started downtrend again, faked out a bit, and eventually broke above it. And we went long around this area right here. And usually we never hold any scalps into open, but for this play we did, because me and Manny had a high conviction. Yeah, we held this play into open, and boom, it absolutely just ripped from $8 to $12. This is definitely the biggest play for us. And yeah, just kept, it just exhausted out the entire day. And this line right here, why, some of you are probably curious why I have this line drawn out. So I'm going to take off this line. This is the downtrend that we play, and I'm going to take off this line. So this right here is resistance, right? We could not get over this line, this resistance. We tried so many times, but eventually into open we did. And that's why we made that massive move. But yeah, then after we broke this line, this resistance that I'm talking about, it now becomes new support. So we want the stock to break it and then come down to it later on. So we always want to keep this line on watch. And eventually that's what happens. It came down to this line, that's new support. So it went from being old resistance to new support. So that would have been a good ad right there. Another good ad. All would have sold for pops. And this could be a level to watch Monday, that we can knock it over the 8.4 level. Or actually, I'll do the 8.5. There you go. So we're on the 8.4 to 8.5 level. If it holds over that, could definitely be a nice mover on Monday. But yeah, what gave you confidence to hold into open? We really liked the consolidation. It was holding up super well. There were nice bids, good buys, and it just, it was trying to break over resistance to open. And, we just had a really high conviction on this play. Just go through alerts and you'll see how many times, Manu was on this, and we got paid very well. We also went over this on premium. So we're always live trading almost pretty much every single day. for the premium members. So if you want to join us on that, I'm going to send the link to join premium in the chat. But yeah, we went over this on premium. We're always live trading there every day. And Minnie was just saying his live thoughts, his entries, his exits. And yeah, premium really banked on this play. So I sent the link in the chat for anyone who wants to join. But yeah, next ticker is Life. So we started downtrending after open. Yeah, so then we saw this this really nice pop, really nice volume, and we started uptrending for yeah, but we started uptrending for a very good while on this play specifically. And as you can see, we started to form an ascending triangle right here. But the thing with support and resistance, as I always say, the more times you test the support or resistance, the more higher chance it has each time of breaking it. So this one I had already tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And, at some point I knew it was either going to break out or break down. So, and we tested the support again, and that's it. It was just done and knifed, and that's it. It was done for the day. We tried to break over the resistance again, and we just couldn't. But as you can see here, we could not get a single candle close above this line until this area, and we could not hold the area. We couldn't hold it. It came down and we knifed. Do premium get the call outs before the public Discord and Twitter? No, not usually, but sometimes when we're live trading, sometimes we say things before we alert, because we're just saying our thoughts on there. But yeah, for live trading, usually we just say our thoughts as we're trading. We give our entries and exits, etc. But yeah, this ascending triangle, we just couldn't hold it. We broke down. But yeah, it had a really nice uptrend before we broke down, and there were so many opportunities to scalp this. But yeah, that's all for life. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, cool. After life, CRVS. Actually, anyone have any questions on life? On specifically life only? What do I think about life on Monday? I'm definitely going to be watching this 10.4 level, because as you can see, we got rejected so many times. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. This time we broke above it, but we could not hold. And then this the 4th, 5th time we got rejected by this 10.4 level so many times. So I'm definitely going to be watching this this specific setup for 10.4 break. This is Webull.com. How do you avoid fake breakouts over resistance levels? So there's a lot of ways. You always want to use times and sales to your benefit. You want to use level 2 to your benefit, but sometimes even when the trade is going perfect and everything looks great, just like life, this trade was looking amazing, it's still knifed down. Sometimes you just cannot avoid fake breakouts, and that happens. Not every play, is a win. That happens a lot. How many hours do you need to see before entering the trade? So really not that much, especially if it's a day. It really depends. If it's a day trade, you want to see good support and resistance forming, not just massive spikes. So it could keep spiking up, up, up for 30 minutes. And so let's see how long this was. 9:30 to 10:30. So this is an hour. But some stocks keep spiking up, up, up for an hour. And some stocks, have patterns like this one. I would rather trade this stock that's been, that has patterns, rather than something that's just been spiking up. I just want something that has a good pattern, good support and resistance, and I would like a good hour or two to determine that. But yeah, let's move on from life. CRVS. Okay. CRVS. As you can see here, we started in pre-market. This is pre-market high. Pre-market high is always a resistance to watch later on during the day. So we mark this resistance and we're going to watch it. We tried to break it. We could not. We tried to break it again. We could. We held it. and we got rejected by this area right here, and we just continued downtrending for the rest of the day. And as you can see, we have good support here. Why? Because we bounced from it once, twice, 3 times. So we want to keep this 3.7 area on watch, because if we touch it again, that's support we want to add there. We tried to break pre-market high, which is this area again over here. We couldn't. We got rejected. Again, we got rejected. Finally, we broke it with good volume. And we closed above the line. Where is it at? We closed above it with very strong volume. And that was a good ad right there. And yeah, we then went and tested the same resistance we got rejected by earlier during the day. We rejected it, we retested it, and it broke. And yeah, that's a good spike. That's a really good trade right there, just from this support. I mean, this resistance. But what I was gonna say was, as you can see, this level was strong resistance. Here, I'll just use a marker. So this level right here, this was strong resistance. This level. So when we get a full candle close above this blue line, that's when we want to add, and that's what this candle is right here. That's what that candle is. So that would be a good entry right there. We then spiked. It came back down to retest this level. Now, this went from being resistance. So I'm going to put R as in resistance. This is R. This is resistance. So this went from being resistance to now acting as what? Support. So this went from being old resistance to now new support. So when it comes down to this level after anything breaks, you want to stop calling it resistance. So when it was over here and you were watching it, you'd want it to come back down to this area. Why? Because this level used to be old resistance, and now it's acting as new support. So yeah, we came down again. We did a little bounce, and then we could just not hold it, and then we just went down. So yeah, that's pretty much a very good lesson of old resistance, old resistance becomes new support. Always keep this in mind. And same thing, vice versa, old support becomes new resistance. So always keep these in mind. Always. Old resistance becomes new support. Old support becomes new resistance. But yeah, we ended up breaking it. Do you guys like me using the annotate tool? I don't know if that really helps, like me drawing it out. Let me know if that helps in the chat right real quick, and I can keep using it. Second. Okay. Let's continue. So what happened here? Okay, give me a second. So we tried to break this resistance right here. We couldn't. We tried again. We couldn't. And once we did break it, it became new support. We came back. We bounced off again. We came back again. We did a small bounce, and we went under it. And we finally broke over it again with strong volume. Look at this volume right here compared to the other candles volume. So look at this and compare it to this. That's how you know you have strong volume with a breakout. That's good confirmation right there. We broke over it with strong volume. We held it. And once we broke over it, it became new support. So we came down again to test it, just like we did here, just like we did here. And just like we're going to do it again here. We came down, we tested it, and it bounced up again. But yeah, and later on during the day, we just started uptrending a lot. It flagged out nicely into after hours. But yeah, this resistance right here, that was a really good play. You could have as well played that, or you could have just bought at support. But yeah, this nice little wedge forming, and we broke over it. We started getting rejected by this level, and you should have known this resistance was a thing, on the third time, this time right here, because it got rejected once, twice, three times. And we finally broke above it. We consolidated on it for a minute or two, and we just ripped. We came back, retested it, we bounced up. So as I was saying, when this breaks, it goes from being old resistance to new support. And that's exactly what happened here. We broke it. It went from being resistance and became support. So we came down to it and we bounced up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. On CRVS, so many opportunities to play this stock today. So many. Right here, this breakout, this breakout, this breakout, this retest, this breakout, this support buy. Literally so many endless opportunities to play this, especially if you were charting your support and resistance along the way. Literally like a bank today, over and over again. But yeah, that's pretty much it on CRVS. Let's go to Hlbz. Okay, Hlbz, we first started off in pre-market. Me and Minnie were on this at like 11:25, this area right here. We were on it on live trading. We played it because it got rejected. We saw good momentum. We knew this is going to be a pretty good runner. And we played the 11.25 break. We made really good money on that. Wait, give me a second, y'all. Okay. My bad. Let me continue. What was I saying? So we played the 11.25 break and we broke it. And we were just uptrending very nicely into market open. And we just started forming this little support and resistance. And we bounced off the support again here. We got rejected by this resistance. Eventually, we broke this resistance area. And why is this resistance? Some of you are wondering, because we rejected here, 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 and here over and over again. So once we finally did break above it, we came back, we retested it, and we held it very nicely. And yeah, it just ripped until we got rejected by that 25 area twice. We could not get a candle to close above the $25 mark. As you can see, we tested it here. We couldn't close above it. We tested it again. We went all the way to 25.75, but we could not close above it. And we rejected that area. But yeah, that's going to be top level to watch if we ever do get to that near 25 area. Very important level to be watching, because we rejected it very strongly twice. But yeah, then at the end of the day, we ended up coming back down to this support that we had charted out. As you can see, we came down to this support once, twice, three times. So when it comes down again, we should be like, oh shit, let's add. And that's exactly what happened. We came down. That's a good scalp right there. But yeah, it ended up breaking this resistance right here, closed above it with decent volume, but it got rejected. It was a fake out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Hlbz. Do you typically buy only shares and options? So some of them we do options. Sometimes when we have really high conviction, we just do a lot of options most of the time. But yeah, we always are only pretty much buying shares unless we're doing some lotto options. And yes, these Zoom meetings are recorded and they will be posted on YouTube soon. But yeah, that's it for Hlbz. So why not? So this one, we got in around this area right here, because why it was sitting right on VWAP. And as you can see, we have been riding VWAP all the way from pre-market the entire time. So when it came down to VWAP, that presented to us what is called a dip buy. We added, and we had psychological $4 support. We added, spiked all the way to 433, made a new high day. And SPY really took a shit around this area right here. And S1M is really thin. All the, panic sellers were selling and literally just dumped it throughout the entire day. But yeah, it could not hold that level at all. because SPY was just sitting panic sellers, and it's a low flow, really thin stock. It could just not hold at all. But yeah, that's all for SONM. Okay. So it really depends on the stock for the person who said, do you scale in or just chunk buy? So look at SONM on this dip buy. This is where I would chunk buy. I would not scale in on this because this could pop at any moment, just like it did, because it's right on psychological support and it's sitting right on VWAP, which it has been riding the entire day. But for another play like a resistance break, I would scale in, wait for it to retest the resistance, and then I would add some more. I would keep scaling in on that. But yeah, let's move on to our last ticker of the day, PRTH. This whole day, I really only have one thing to go over on this chart, and I'm gonna use annotation for this one. Give me a second. Okay, so we first started. This is the only line I want to go over with this stock because there's really important lessons to be learned here. This is resistance, and this is the break of resistance. Good volume confirmation. Now, this is resistance. Why? Because we rejected it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and we finally broke over it with strong volume on this area. So now, once this resistance breaks, it goes from being old resistance, as I already said, new support. So now, when we come back and retest it, we should already know that this is new support. So this is a good dip buy right here. 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 And guess what? All of these dip buys pay it. Why? Because this line is strong support, because it used to be strong resistance. So this line right here rejected about 3 times, strong resistance. Look at that selling volume right there. And we could not get over this line at all. When we finally did, this line becomes new support. And that's exactly what the stock shows us right here. It becomes new support because it used to be old resistance. So when we come down to that line, we know that's a good dip buy right there. And that's when we want to add most of our shares. Someone said, do you draw strong supporters on manual PM? Not only PM, pre-market. I do it intraday, mostly on pretty much anytime, pre-market, market hours, after hours. And we draw, it depends on how long the stock has been running. So if it's been running for a good hour, I would only use the 1 minute. If it's been running for 5 hours, I'd use the 1 minute, 5 minute, maybe even the 10 minute, something like that. But if it's been running for like 3 days straight, I would probably use the 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour charts. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'm really sorry we had to do this on a weekend. Both Minnie and I were busy yesterday. And what was I gonna say? And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions we can go over right now. I really have to head out soon, so I'll just do like 3-4 questions. Any recommendations? Yeah, Fed speaks, definitely. Any recommendations? Just these stickers that I just went over. CEI. Okay, TMC. Cool. TMC, I really think this has great potential for next week. We were watching this. I was considering an overnight position, and I didn't take one. But yeah, look how perfectly this bounced off support. So as you can see here, it bounced right here, right here off this level. So when it came down yesterday to this level, I was gonna add, but I got busy with some other things, and it bounced perfectly right off it. But yeah, I had this on watch for a dip by the entire day Friday. CEI, I really think TMZ has a good chance of going next week. CEI, I'd definitely be watching that 1.87. That 1.87 break, it's holding up really, really well. But yeah, I just watched that 1.87 break. That's just the recent high. But yeah. Sorry guys, I'm just really okay. I'm sorry guys, I have to head out. I'll just do a couple more questions. BSQR. I would really like that 2.3 area ad zone. That's a really strong ad area. But if you already do have a position, I would stop out under 2.3 and take profits at around 2.75. If strong selling pressure around this area. We're still gonna be, for all the premium members, we're still gonna be active. We're still gonna be in live trading. We're still gonna be doing the trading recaps. But yeah, I'm gonna put the premium link in the chat for anyone who wants to join and be with us on live trading every morning. See you guys later. For all the people watching this on YouTube, premium link down below. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take it easy.